All right, let's circle back to Lulama, Matya, SABC News reporter who is on standby to look at the issue of mining communities who are finding themselves with very rich minerals. There's also, agreements that are being signed when it comes to some of what the mining companies would be committing towards as far as the mining charter is concerned, but very little in some of these cases you see as development when it comes to some of these communities. And speaking to someone who has an interest in this particular area. Lulama?
Thank you very much, Bongiwe. Welcome back to Cape Town. Yes, we were speaking to David Stammers-Verbeek, a co-founder of Impact Facility, and one of their main objectives is to look at mining communities. You were telling us about your interest in the mining in Indaba and at mining in general.
Great, thanks. Mining is at the key of everything we do. For industrial development, for the lifestyle that we aspire with the green technologies, electric vehicles, solar energy, wind energy, we need more minerals to come out of the ground. And that's crucial. But that presents a unique opportunity to take this mineral wealth and turn it into prosperity for African nations, for the African continent. But in that, the most important thing is that people most affected by mining activities are the ones that also benefit the most. And too often that is not the case. And so as an organization and in collaboration with many others, we are trying to help communities ensure that they can get fair employment at industrial mine sites, that communities are also seen as the primary pool for goods and services, because mines need to procure a lot of input for their mining operations. And ideally, that could help diversify and strengthen local economies. And then if we're looking at a mine, there's always an end of life to the mine. So how does that look at the end of that period? What is the legacy of the mindset? What economy do we leave behind? And there we need to talk about economic diversification throughout the life of the mine, so that after mining closure, we don't have ghost towns left behind in those regions.
Mm-hmm. Talking about those ghost towns that are left when a mine has closed, what is it exactly your intervention in assisting those communities?
So we specialize as an organization on the artisanal small-scale mining communities and are active in East Africa, in Kenya and in Tanzania and in Congo, where we work with cobalt and copper and gold miners respectively. And with this, we are not yet addressing mine closure ourselves. But some of the interventions that work and that others are doing in this space look really at the diversification of opportunities. And that means that by investing into social projects, mining communities can prioritize investing into entrepreneurs, providing funding that allows them to set up thriving businesses, using their demand initially to kickstart the business, but advising those small business owners how they can diversify and find other clients beyond their own operations.
Do you have, as we wrap, do you have challenges of illegal mining in these countries that you work with?
The word illegal mining refers to whether or not the activity is recognized by the mining code. Across Africa, many countries recognize what is referred to as artisanal and small-scale mining as a legal activity. They often work still informally. That means they're not meeting the regulatory requirements. In some countries, and South Africa is one of those, artisanal mining is not allowed in most extents. And that's obviously something that the government needs to decide themselves. But we see that unless a sector is formalized, accidents happen across informal mining and illegal mining. And so our interventions around that look at providing a transfer of skills so that the miners know how to mine safely, and we help them formalize so that they meet government requirements, access to markets so that they're able to sell their gold or their other minerals, because if you're producing it legally but then need to sell it to informal channels, we haven't solved the problem yet. But most importantly, access to financing. And that's a huge opportunity again for the economy, because there is more than $30 billion worth of gold being produced on the African continent that is currently smuggled out of the continent. This is money that, if banks were able to invest, could be billions of dollars in investments and interest paid on that, profits made for financial institutions as well. But key to that really is formalization.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
With that, Bongiwe, back to you at the studio.
All right, my colleague there, SABC News reporter Lulama Matya, live for us at the Investing in African Mining Indaba in Cape Town. We'll bring you more of this story throughout later bulletins.